Today we are starting a new rebuild in a brand new country we've never done before, Denmark.
Yeah, we've got a few requests to do them, so there you go. If you put the request in, we will do these things for you.
Exactly. We've got a few requests for Copenhagen, a few requests for Brøndby. I chose Brøndby because they need a little bit more of a rebuild than Copenhagen, who have just won the league. Yeah. Brøndby, they won it a couple of years ago for the first time in a while. 2021, we can see there. The last time they won it was 2005. And then Copenhagen, they've been pretty dominant in this competition. Really, since the turn of the century, they've won the most. We can see there is splattered around quite a few different clubs, but Copenhagen have won it the most out of everybody there. Yeah. So, in 5 years, what can we do with Brøndby? Now, as I mentioned, they did win the league. They did, unfortunately, lose quite a lot of their players the last couple of seasons from that league winning side, as you'd expect them to happen.
Looking at their history, quite a few times when they win the league, they sell all their best players.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. They have to rebuild and rebuild again. So.
Exactly. And actually, a fan of Brøndby who does quite a lot of simulations for me, Thomas First, he actually told me that they have just had a takeover.
Yeah.
From an American ownership.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And the fans not happy about it one bit.
No, I mean, I was reading over that as well, and I can see why the fans don't like it, but Peter Schmeichel, famous goalkeeper for them as well, as well as Denmark national team. He tried to buy them as well, going back a few years ago when they were in a bit of money trouble, and they protested against that as well because he had
like an
investor with him who was an ex-Copenhagen director or something like that. And they just didn't want the link there.
No, that is a huge no-no.
It's a shame really for Peter Schmeichel to come out and try and help his team.
Yeah.
What he would class as his home team type of thing, and the fans went against him. So
yeah, but really. The derby is the new firm derby. We can see it is Copenhagen. It is their local derby. They are from the same area. Brøndby in Denmark. They are from the same area as Copenhagen.
They were formed in 1964, and they were formed from 2 local teams on the understanding from the mayor that he would build them a stadium if they formed together.
Okay.
So they did. So
they did.
A stadium, yeah.
1965 it was built.
The stadium's had a lot of work done on it since because it used to have a racing track. Well,
really?
A running track around it. But each
I think you can kind of see that, really, can you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, let's see what we can do then. Now, we haven't been given a lot of money because obviously Denmark as a nation does not tend to spend quite a lot of cash, but we have sold a lot from the season gone and they've brought in fair amount. I've actually only brought in 1 player here, 2 players in total. One was a £2.1 million. That was basically all of our transfer budget, and then I brought in 1 player.
For them, that's a big player, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a top player, that is.
Absolutely, and it's from Randers, a club in the same league as us. Berg Johnson, who is a Norwegian centre midfielder or a centre defensive midfielder, only 23 years of age. Looks rather good too for this standard. A lot of really good mental attributes there, all above 10 or 12. So we gotta think about we're not going to the highest points of Europe now. This is a good player.
Yeah.
If you if we were in a different league, we'd be like, why have you signed him, Luke? Yeah. This is a good player. As you can see, a 3.5 star current ability is what our coaches rate him as an overall report. And we've also brought in a free transfer, and it is a centre-back. The reason for it is the formation, which we'll go over in a sec. This guy's from the Gambia, Sana, quite pacey. Physically, yeah, he's good. Technically, he's decent as well. Again, for this standard of league, I think he's really good, and he's quite low wages as well, considering for a free transfer. Happy to bring him in. So I mentioned the tactic. This is what we're going for. It's a 3 at the back. They were suited to a 3 at the back to begin with.
Yeah.
I believe when I took over the job, it shows you a formation which would suit the club. This is what they shown me. So we got a 5-2-3 here. 5 including the wing backs. Of course, it does look like it's more of a 3-4-3, but with defensive mids. So we've got a Roman playmaker, ball winner in there, 2 wing backs, a wide centre back, a centre defensive on stopper, ball player. I don't really build tactics, but I just threw it all together.
We know with their history as well, they prefer the 4-4-2.
Really?
Yeah, they've had a lot more success playing the 4-4-2. And a couple of times they've picked up on new managers come in and tried a new formation. It hasn't worked and he gets sacked. And someone comes back and does a 4-4-2 and they win again. So
I wish I knew that, because I would have tried and done it with a 4-4-2 only. Instead, I'm stuck with a formation I've never used before in my life. But we do have a 3 at the top here. So if I went and shown you our quick pick without restrictions, our best 11, there is a couple of players that I'm actually familiar with.
Right.
I'll start off with Daniel Vaz at the back here. He's played quite a lot in the Spanish leagues. He's played for Valencia, Celta Vigo there, Atletico Madrid, but he's come back to Bromby recently.
Oh, he started off there,
Yeah, £1.5 million after only making one appearance for Atletico Madrid. Daniel Vaz, the number 10, he can play centre midfield, he can play right wing back there, so that's what he's doing. I also really like the striker, Ohai, and I don't know how to say that last name, I do apologise, but he's 28, 6'2". He's a bit of a target forward, but he does have a bit of pace. He likes to beat the offside trap. Very well-rounded.
Yeah.
So we looked really as him as our main threat up front. Only £1 million we bought him from Serbia. 7 appearances so far, 1 goal. So we're hoping for a little bit more than that.
His history, he scores a few goals, doesn't he? So
he does indeed. So not a bad team. Not a bad team at all. There are some really good players in here for the league standard. And if we were to go to the league, we can see it might ruin how many games we've won and everything so far. But if we went to season preview, we can see 4th place is where we'd be expected to finish. Norgeland, the team above, is the team I always go on about for buying players from. Their youth academy is fantastic because they have the Right to Dream Academy in Ghana, I believe it is. But that's obviously a team we need to overcome, as well as Midtjylland, who have that link with Brentford, and Copenhagen, who tend to be the best team in the league, as well as a few others who tend to every now and then just be really good on Football Manager and give you a tricky time if you do manage in Denmark. So let's take a look at the schedule then. We have played quite a lot of games and we have played quite a lot in Europe as well, but we've been eliminated from the Conference League playoffs on penalties.
Yeah, it's a pity, isn't it?
We've already played B36. We beat them 3-0 and 2-0 quite comfortably, but then Apoel, 1-1 draw in the away leg, 2-2 at home, losing on penalties. It's just unfortunate, and unfortunately for a first season, European football.
That was going to be our challenge for me and you to win a European trophy.
Oh, bloody hell, Dad. We've only got 5 seasons. Right, okay, let's take a look at the league form, though, because AGF was our first game, and it was a 1-1 draw. Then Norgeland, which is a team, obviously, we've mentioned are going to be tricky to overcome, 0-0 draw. A 1-0 win, finally, 7 minutes. Then we played the big boys, Copenhagen, in the derby, 84th minute equaliser.
Well,
yeah, we got a good win there, though, a 3-1 victory there. Orbi, I believe is how you say it, 2-2 against them. And then Midtjylland, 3-2. Good win, 86th minute after we were 2-0 down at home. We pulled it back. Yeah, against the second best team in the league.
Good for our confidence, that is.
Yeah.
Good start.
Absolutely. So let's simulate this first season and see how we get on. Alright, first season, 2nd place finish.
Take that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're thinking, how many clubs got relegated? No, it's a championship league. So basically, there is a preliminary phase. In that phase, we finish in 4th place. And the top 6 teams then go through and you play each other.
Yeah.
Another 2 times each.
Scottish Premier League, isn't it?
A bit like that as well. I think Belgium has the same similar format as well. I don't know whether I like it or not, because it's too many derbies then.
Yeah, but you've got to think of as well.
There's not a lot of clubs.
Yeah, there's not a lot of clubs there, so the top teams, it keeps that interesting because they've done the whole season again and you're playing all the bottom sides again. It's easy results, it's easy points. So at least it makes the second part of the season a bit more difficult then.
Yeah, definitely, because it does throw up some interesting stuff, and obviously we've climbed there into 2nd place, so we've benefited from this. Even though we had a bad end to it. I mean, Copenhagen ran away with the league, 73 points, we're nowhere near them.
We were going to catch them, were we?
No, but we finished a point above Norgeland, so which means we obviously get a higher ranking when we qualify for only the Europa Conference League, so not even in Europa League there, finishing in 2nd place. That's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there is obviously one team there that's missing, and that's Midtjylland.
Yeah.
Which is surprising. So they're in the relegation stage. They topped it, no surprises, but we got a couple of clubs going down there. So there we go. And then the European playoff, Midtjylland is playing in that. So I believe that could be for Europa League. It's determined. I don't know how it's determined, to be honest.
I think we'd have got more Europa League, wouldn't
Yeah, it makes no sense. Maybe somebody else can explain to me who's played this league before. But anyway, 2nd place finish is how we've got on. Other competitions, there is a Danish Cup. We were knocked out in the quarterfinals, unfortunately, by Norgeland. I still think that's a good season now.
Well, yeah, to come second in your league.
Yeah, only losing 6 games.
Gives us European competition next season.
Exactly. Goals then. Ohai scored 26 goals this season. He was our main man. 11 goals and assists from Valleys, and Hedlund, who is a very good Swedish midfielder, 10 goals, 14 assists. That's what we're looking like there. We've got a few wanted things here. The trouble is in these leagues, Dad. I'm going to make you all aware of it now, just in case you fancy a game in the Danish league. Every time you go to sign a player, they always want a minimum fee release clause. You will struggle to get that minimum fee release clause above 5 million, which means you are always going to lose your best players for a ridiculously cheap cost. We might see that happen in today's rebuild. Transfers then, we haven't been given our money yet, so we'll have to go forward to the next season and see what they give us. So without selling anybody, I signed one player for money. That was £2.3 million for this man, Sebastian Jorgensen, a very good Danish, 23 years of age, winger, who was one of the best in the league, I would say. It's difficult to also find Danish players who are good enough to make the step up to the club that we are at, who haven't been snapped up by Copenhagen or snapped up by a European league. That's the tricky thing that I am also finding here. This was one of the only occasions where I managed to find somebody. So £2.3 million, I think, was actually all of our budget, and we have signed other players, but they were free transfers. These are these two here. So we've got Telmo Arcanjo, who is a Portuguese midfielder who can play centre midfield, DM. He can play on the left if we really need him to, but overall I think he's a really good ball player, especially for this league. Only 22 years of age as well, so that's not bad at all. And he has that minimum fee release clause of lower than £5 million. So yeah, that's the only thing that we've always got to keep our minds at, that we could have a player just pinch for us during the season, because of course we're simulating this season, so our holiday until the end of the season, we might lose a player in January, and we can't do anything about it until the end of the season. Basir Omaragic from Zurich, he runs out of contract. He's one of the wonder kids on the game that everybody knows about, Swiss centre-back. He's made a couple of caps as well for Switzerland already. He's not amazing, but he's definitely really good for this league, and he's only 21 with a good potential. He can grow, and he has a £4.2 million release clause in his contract. But for now, he is our player, and we'll see what we can do with him. Tactically then, have we changed anything? Not really. We haven't really changed anything, maybe an instruction or two, but other than that, things are staying as they are, because I think we've had a good season, and all we've done is improve the team. Yeah, definitely. To be honest. So Arcanjo, I want playing every single game in that Roman playmaker role. I think he's perfect for it. As a guy who is good on the ball, just exactly what it says on the tin. Roam around the pitch, pick up the ball, find a pass. That's what we need to happen from him. Let's take a look at the schedule then, because we have qualified for the UEFA Europa Conference League. It's a mouthful, isn't it? Anyway,
we ain't doing bad in
we've
it,
done
are
it. No. We've qualified for that. We've faced FC Inter in the first set of qualifying stages. The fact that you have to go through 3 and it's like the worst competition, and we finished only second in the league, I'm quite surprised by it, to be fair. Standard Liège was next of Belgium. That can always be quite a tricky task. They're quite good. They've had some fame in the past and been quite a big club. And then Kilmarnock, 2-0 against them in the first leg, 0-0 in the second leg. And the Conference League, we are still in the group stage point. We've got HJK of Finland, we've got Maccabi Tel Aviv, and Aktobi from Kazakhstan.
Go through. I'll be disappointed if we don't go through.
I agree. I think we should, as it should be there, really. I think Maccabi Tel Aviv and Brøndby should go through. HJK are the best team in Finland, but I think we're better than them. Maccabi Tel Aviv do have some really good players on the game, and they probably have a little bit more money than us, so they might be another club that will go through. And the club from Kazakhstan, I've never even heard of before, so I'd be very disappointed if we lost against them. But we are through. If we get rid of the UEFA Conference League, we can just focus on the league fixtures there. We faced Copenhagen first game of the season, unfortunately, and we lost 3-0. They caught us out there. So we then managed to pick up our first win the game after, but then we lost again. Tricky. But Midtjylland, they obviously don't like us. They took a 1-0 lead against us, and then we went and won 3-1. They should never take the lead against us. No. Because that's twice now at the start of the season we've come back and we've beat them. Then Viborg a 0-0 draw, and AC Horsens a 2-1 win. So it's not bad, but it's not a great start to the season. We're still in that top half after 6 games, but it's a long old season here before we get to that playoff, or the split between the two leagues. So, we ready?
I'm just going to say to you, you're a bit of this, John. So who would you say was their most famous player?
Schmeichel would be too obvious because you've already mentioned him. Yeah. So I'm guessing.
Or shall I put it, famous family?
Laudrup.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were formed in 1964, but in 1973, Finn Laudrup took over as a player manager.
Which is their dad?
Which is their dad. And he brought along Brian and Michael.
Yeah.
So, and I think he stayed for a couple of seasons. They had a little bit of success with him. And then he left. He returned again as their first, this is Finn, this is the player. He returned again as their first paid player in 1981.
Oh, really?
And that season, they won the league.
Ah.
So the following season, in 1982, Michael returned. And the first game that he played in, they won 7-1 and he scored 2 goals.
He went on to big things.
Yeah, he went on to big things as well. And I think, Michael came back and he actually took over as manager.
Yes. Yeah.
Come back in later years again. I think it might have been the 2000s or something like that.
Yeah.
One thing that Bromley are well known for, Finn was obviously their first player that they paid.
Yeah.
But Bromley were also the first team to have a whole team of professional players.
Oh, right, okay. Instead of some
Yeah.
not paid, which is quite weird, really, when you consider that they would.
I think it was
they'd have that.
1982.
Yeah.
I think it was that year.
Like, imagine playing for a team and one of the players is being paid and you're not.
Yeah. Oh, that was
bit dodgy, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I would say the Laudrup family are the most famous family to come through there. But as in players, I mean, there's quite a few players. One of the other players that came back was Jensen as well, and he was the player that came back. He was an ex-player, and he came back with Michael Laudrup when Michael Laudrup took over as manager as his assistant.
Oh, okay. So they had 2 legends in the dugout.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So that's the good thing about, like we were saying to you earlier, was that Michael Schmeichel coming back to help the team out and try and buy them.
Yeah.
It seems like they've got a very good sort of friendly atmosphere at the team because players that leave them
always want to come back.
Want to come back again.
Yeah.
So it's good, really. But So that's the players that I sort of know really well that sort of come out of that team.
Brøndby was always the most famous club that I knew from Denmark when I was growing up because I remember them playing against United quite often in the Champions League.
That's right. Yeah.
I remember him being put in the group stage of the Champions League and Schmeichel facing his old club and stuff like that and the story behind it. That's how I remember Brøndby. I never knew about Copenhagen until later on.
Yeah.
So they were, for me, the biggest club in Denmark.
I must admit, when they say about Denmark, Brøndby is always the first team that comes to my head.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Okay, let's simulate the second season and see if they become the biggest club in Denmark this season. Second season then, and it's second place for us once again, by a point, yet again. And some way off Copenhagen, yet again.
We ain't catching them, are we?
Not at the minute, no chance. They are absolutely flying. Midtjylland have joined us in the preliminary stage of the Champions group, sorry, so let's take a look at that.
They only lost 1 game as well.
Yeah, so in the preliminary stage, we were still second.
Yeah.
So we kept our second place. But Midtjylland caught us right up. Because if you look there, 57-58, that's how close it was at the end. But in the preliminary phase, we were 7 points clear of AGF and 9 points clear of Midtjylland.
Yeah.
And they pulled it back to just 1 point between us. So that's how different it can be when you go into that championship group. But, I mean, Copenhagen's only lost 4 games all season. And 3 of them were in the championship group.
Yeah.
So they only lost 1 game in the preliminary phase. So that's how crucial this phase can be. If you think about, obviously, when teams start taking points off each other. Ohai was the top scorer of the league, though. He got 25 goals, which is fantastic. And Arkanjo got 12 assists, which is our playmaker. Yeah. So that's good to see as well. So the playoff competitions for the European spots they're being played out, obviously, by 2 other teams. What about the Cup? Semi-final by Nordsjælland and the round of 16 by Sparta Prague, which is always going to be a difficult tie against Sparta Prague. They have quite a good team as well. 6-3 on aggregate there, so that's unfortunate. Did we have to play the knockout phase? We didn't, which means we did top our group, which I kind of expected us to do, to be honest. Maccabi Tel Aviv finished in second place there. Joint points. We must have beat them on head-to-head. We won 4. We beat them there in the home leg. We drew against them in the away leg. Gotta win your home games.
Home games always said, isn't it?
There we go. Okay, so squad-wise then. 35 goals for Ohai. Very good. New signing, Jorgensen got 17 assists. No, 15, assists and 17 goals.
And another 17 goals there as well. That's
exactly,
good.
From the other wingers. So both our wingers coming in with 17 goals apiece. Can't argue with that. And Arkanjo, 18 assists all season. Really good from him.
Well, when you see 3 goal scores like that, I'm a bit disappointed we weren't closer to Copenhagen.
Yeah, they must. I mean, we know that they've got some incredible players in the game, and every time that there's like a really good player, it's kind of like the Bayern Munich thing, isn't it? It's like every time there's a good player in the league that isn't playing for Copenhagen, they're going to try and sign him before he goes to a European club, for example. So that might be the case here. That, you know, every time there is a good player, they're just going to snatch him up. Do we have our budget yet by any chance? We do. 2.67 million. Come on. Let's see what we can do with it. Once again, I signed one player with all of our budget and signed some free transfers. So this is Anders Borset. He is 18 years of age.
Right.
He's very good. I've never even heard of him before. And when my scouts brought him to my attention, I thought, oh, he's a good player. I'll go to sign him. He's 18! Shocked. I was really shocked. £2.5 million is what we spent on him, but I think it's going to be worth it because either he becomes a far better player and he's one of the best, if not the best, defender in the league, or another club comes in and gets lots of money and gives us lots of money for him. However, he doesn't have that in his contract. He doesn't. Oh, we've managed to get no clause. Very good. Very good indeed. We can start.
So we could be in for the big money then.
We could be in for the big money. Maybe even 6 million.
I was going to say 10.
Who knows? Before the board just go, take it, accept it now. Okay, so we have also brought in some free transfers as well. Let's take a look. We brought a player in here from Orange County. Oh, I know what this player was. So he was going out of contract last in the January, but in the summer I opted to sign him when his contract ran out. So he joined us mid-season last season. So that's a new one there that we had who can play centre defence midfield or right back. But these are the signings that I made, free transfers at the end of this season going into the new season. A player from Midtjylland and Copenhagen. Oh, Nicholas Dyer. I actually know quite a lot about this player because I've used him in previous save files in like different versions of Football Manager. Really good left-sided player, 23 years of age now. Can be quite good on the game as well. He's played at Midtjylland for quite a while. So we signed him on a free transfer. I'll go to the Copenhagen one. Lasse Sorensen. Again, another centre defence midfielder or a centre midfielder. Really good player with good stamina and fitness and everything like that. And the work rates is what I like. Coming off the bench, he's going to be really good for us, I think, as somebody who you can put on when you've got tired legs in there. You're just going to run around, buzz around the pitch. And then the two, I would say, probably the best players out of the free transfers. We've got a really good centre back here. Brabec, who is 32, so a bit of experience coming at the back, good positioning and everything like that. But he is on the downside of his career and not the up. But this player, I think, is probably the best player that we have signed from Birmingham. So Sunjic, he is a really good centre defence midfielder as a ball winner. Yeah. Can't pass as well as our other centre mids, like only 10 passing and 10 vision.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of greens and even an 18 in there. That's the odds I've seen so far.
So in the mental department, he's phenomenal and he can tackle and mark. And so we literally just need to be like, Ivan, just go out there and just
get the ball back.
Destroy. Yeah. Like, that's what we want him to do. So win the ball back for us, Ivan, and see what we can do with it. So we brought him in from Birmingham. He's played around Europe, especially in England and Germany, as well as Croatia, where he left. So I think that's a really good signing to bring him in. So let's take a look tactically then. All these players that are going out, by the way, they're just end of contracts of like youngsters I'm not really going to use. So Borset is the only player that I want to guarantee to play every single game on that left-hand side as a wide centre-back. The wide centre, and I've changed a few roles as well, you might see there. The wide centre-back, he is left-footed as well, so they tend to go further forward and help support the attack when it's on their side. On the defensive duty, they won't go too far. If you go to like support, they end up on the edge of the area. Yeah. And if you put them on attack, sometimes they're in the box. This guy, I don't want him to do that too much because he isn't the best going forward, but he's good enough to do what we need him to do because he's got an okay passing and he brings the ball out of defense and he crosses early. So those things then, if you're on a wide centre-back, can be quite good to have. So we've changed a few of the roles around, as you can see here. Very similar to what we were playing beforehand now, and I'll give it a name now. Bromby 343. Very creative with my names, I know. And remember, if you do want the tactics, Patreon members is the only way to get it. You get the save game files at the end, and I tend to leave all the tactics on here so you can go on there and save them to your game as well. So that's on the £5 tier, patreon.com/. youtube.com/Omega Gaming. You get the save game file. Dad's going to set you a challenge, as well as you get access to all the tactics and stuff, and have a mooch around the file if you just want to have to do that. Okay, schedule-wise then, we have once again qualified for Europe,
Tell you what,
but this
looking
time
good,
it's the
Greens.
Europa League. So, we were actually...
How did we get in the Europa League then?
Well, you know how last year we finished in second place and we qualified for just the conference qualification?
Yeah.
Well, this time we finished in second place and we qualified for the Champions League qualification. We didn't get past Galatasaray, so they bumped us down to the Europa League one.
Anytime
we qualified through that.
Go to hell, innit?
Yeah.
When you go to Galatasaray.
Exactly. So we skipped the Europa League and we could have gone to the Champions League, but we didn't. We were bumped out of that one early and went into that. So if I get rid of the league,
we actually made it to a major league, a major European semi-final.
Yeah.
UEFA Cup. We made it in 1991. I think it was 1991 season.
Yeah.
Made it to the semi-final after beating a couple of good sides.
Yeah.
And we lost to Roma.
Oh, that's always tricky in the 90s.
It's the worst game to lose as well, isn't it? In the semi-final.
Italian football in the 90s are obviously probably the strongest in the world, especially early 90s. Late 90s is more England and Italy, but yeah, that's going to be always tricky to come up against, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if we take a look at our European journey then, Galatasaray, 1-1, then a 2-1 loss when we went to hell. Home win against Sheriff. Of course, they played against Man United in the Europa League this year.
They were on a bad side, actually, weren't they?
They were alright. Yeah. They are from Moldova.
They scared United a couple of times.
Yeah. / a country that doesn't exist anymore. And I'm so sorry, but I cannot remember the name of the country now. But it's not recognised as a country anymore. But they're not even in Moldova. It's weird. But there we go. So we beat them across both legs. Then we beat the Turkish team, another Turkish team in Europa League there. I can't remember. Istanbul something. I'm so sorry. I cannot pronounce that name. Beat them 1-0 on both legs. So the Europa League group stage now is the league phase. Yeah. So it's the Tottenham's in it as well. So it's now the weird group stage. We've got Dinamo Kiev, Aberdeen, Vallecano, Atalanta, Legia Warszawa, Heerenveen, Young Boys, and AS Monaco. Always check out Young Boys for players and nothing else. Okay, in the league then, if I get rid of the Conference League and that, there we go. So we can just see the league form that we've had.
And we've done well.
We've done very well. We've only dropped points once. That was against Copenhagen in a draw. The rest of the games we have won. However, we haven't really played the teams that you tend to find in the Championship group. No. They're all to come. Midtjylland and Nordsjælland are both next. So we have done well. Yeah. We've still done very well. We are top of the preliminary group right now, only by 3 points because Nordsjælland have lost the game there to Midtjylland, and Midtjylland have Viborg, have lost the game to us. Midtjylland have lost to Viborg, so they're all taking points off each other, of course. But yeah,
and we're next.
And we're next.
Yeah.
So expectations.
Second.
Aim high. Yeah. Second place. Let's simulate this third season. Well. We are champions.
Get in.
Look at that. That's phenomenal stuff. 65 points.
We tried to chuck it away.
We did try. 64 points right on our asses, Copenhagen there, and 62 points Nordsjælland. It was going down to the wire.
Tell you what, draw games, that's what cost the other teams around us. Look.
Yeah. This is where the Championship group would be very interesting because every game's 6-pointer, as it were, that old phase. We did go into that Championship group as top of the league, only by a point again to Copenhagen. So it looks like Copenhagen maybe lost a few games at the start of the Championship group, and we lost them at the end. Yeah. But yeah, that was very tight there going into the end. What I am quite interested in is taking a look at the schedule after and seeing how close it was, like who we were taking points off of, because we won 20 games in total across the season, which is the most.
Well, when you look at we lost 7 games in that group, we lost 3 of those games in the last 4 games, or 5 games.
Yeah, we lost 4 in there, 4 in the Championship group out of the 7 losses, but it was draws that killed Copenhagen because they only lost 4, and they only lost 2 in that Championship group, whereas in the Championship group they also drew 5, so a lot of 1-1s there. That's what's cost them. They're not scoring enough goals. And in other competitions, obviously the Champions League, we were eliminated down to the Europa League. We were knocked out in the league phase. We couldn't qualify in that 1 place. One place, and what's really annoying is you're always going to be roughly on the same points. So it is literally down to goal difference. Goal difference is going to be hugely important when this comes around.
When you look at some of the teams above us as well, that you'd think we should have been in.
Yeah, Cyprus, like Gordon's there, like St. Gallen. I think we should be beating all those clubs, but you're not going to play against them. Tottenham are top. Yeah, they've won 8. You're playing on Thursdays, Dad. Calm down, all right? You're playing on Thursdays. Who did you play as well? Oh, a bunch of nobodies, look.
Teams look, young boys, look.
Villarreal is the only club there. I would go fair play.
Hey, come on.
Monaco are not the club that they were
Monaco,
3 years
young
ago.
Boys, look at these good sides. Like you're always saying about young boys.
You beat FC Rapid 10-0.
There you go.
All right, fair. Well done. Did you win it though? That's the mate. You're giving it all Billy Big Bollocks now. Did you get to the final? Oh, you did.
Get in. And who did we beat?
Fair enough,
Not
Paul.
just any average side.
Yeah, fair
Get
enough.
in.
All right. Of all the clubs that could have been, it had to be Tottenham, didn't it? Of all the clubs coming out of the Champions League, and you go and
Come
win
on,
it.
who scored the goals?
Nobody cares.
Come on, let me put it.
So it's quarter-final against Copenhagen in that cup. So let's take a look then back to Brøndby, the important side of this. We can see here we lost a couple of games here in the run-up there to the end of the Championship group. There was a 2-1 loss there to Midtjylland, a 2-5 loss to Nordsjælland. It was tricky. We almost threw away, yeah. The start of the Championship group, we were quite good. Oh, no, we weren't. That was the Championship group there. Oh, my God. We only won, like, 4 out of that Championship group. Very difficult, considering we went on and won the league. Fair play. Right, okay. Have they give us lots of money now? No. Oh, we also got to check to see we're not losing any players throughout the season. We're not. Okay, we'll go forward 4th season. Now, this time I have spent money across 2 different players. It's the first for us. The first player, I really like this guy. He is 20 years of age. He must be a wonder kid, but I've never heard of him. But when I seen his attributes, I was like, no way is he okay with coming with us. He's only 20.
Yeah.
He's 20 years of age. Anders Hartvedt Riist. Norwegian, 20 years of age. Picked him up from the Norwegian leagues. Odd. That's a club name.
He scored
You could say it's a strange club name. 8 goals in 7 appearances for us. It's not bad considering that's more than what he got last season in total.
Look at the reserve team. Odd 2.
Odd 2. There's 2 of them. I think as well in Norway, there's also a team called Start.
Is it?
Yeah, there's some funny names in there. We've also signed a couple of other players though. William Leik from Nordsjælland. He is a good goalkeeper. I thought you would. Do you know, when I signed him, I thought, Dad's going to make a pun.
I'm glad I didn't let you down.
Yeah. Dick Like. No, that's Richard, isn't it? Willie Like. So £1.2 million is what we spent from Nordsjælland there. He didn't play any games last season. We've basically picked him up as like a backup goalkeeper for us because our goalkeeper's really good actually, but we lost all of our backup goalkeepers because when you don't play them, they're like, yeah, I'm gone. So he is coming for that, and we've also signed Matthias Bader. Free transfer, plays on the right-hand side from Germany. He can also play on the left is the reason why I signed him, but his natural position is at wing-back role. Daniel Vass, I think, might have left now, retired. I need to check that, whether it was this season or not. 28 years of age, he comes in, 15 crossing. Oh, yes. Yeah. That's what we like to see. So we picked him up on a free transfer from Darmstadt. He's played in Germany his whole career. He fancied something different. So I do want to see, if we take a look at the tactics, we'll have a look, see if Daniel Vass is still knocking around. We are still using that 4-3, the 3-4-3 that we won the league with last season. Our best 11, it does look like Daniel Vass has gone now because he's not here. Yes, he's gone. So this is what our best 11 would look like. And Ohai, who's been scoring all the goals, is not necessarily our best goal scorer anymore. Riist is going to be that guy. I do think he is a far better player, but there we go. So, schedule-wise then, what have we done so far? So we have qualified for the Champions League automatically, winning the Danish league.
Oh, look who we got.
Oh, yeah, we've got some tricky clubs in there. We've only got Monaco, they're easy.
2 English sides.
2 English clubs, yeah. So, let's focus on the league and what we've done so far, because we have won all but 2 games where we've only drew them, including this little cheeky result here, 4-1, where our new signing scored all 4 goals.
Get in.
So, what a way to make yourself a hero very early on in the season. Because earlier on in the season, we were still playing Ohai, and you can see here, as well as Anders, who's come off the bench at that point. We have been playing both in the team as much as we possibly can, using Ohai from the left-hand side, who's quite good in that role anyway. So, and it's been paying off. It's been paying off big time. So if we remove all of the other competitions then and have a look just at our Champions League games, we can see we've got Newcastle, Monaco, Chelsea, Juve, Genk, Celtic, Man City as well, and Inter Milan.
You could say the three richest clubs in the Premier League.
That's it.
Really.
Monaco aren't poor either. No. I tell you who is poor though is Juve at the minute. Oh, they're in trouble. They are in trouble. So I don't expect us to qualify from that.
No.
And I don't think now you have the ability to drop down into Europa League anymore. So that's something which I am so pleased with, by the way. Yeah. I hate it when the Europa League is won by somebody who drops out of the Champions League.
I mean, you've lost, you're out.
Yeah,
That's how it should be, isn't it?
Yeah,
really?
I agree.
If you qualify for the Europa League, then play against the teams that qualify for the Europa
League. Yeah, so hopefully that's an actual thing that's going to stick with that. Okay, so how do you think we're going to do this season then? Do you think we're going to continue and go back-to-back with the leagues?
The young lad is going to help us through here. I think we're going to win the league.
Yeah, I agree. Nordsjælland and Copenhagen are both top right now. We haven't lost the game, so we're only a point behind both of them. But they have lost one each. So, obviously, the Copenhagen, lost against us. We're still yet to play Nordsjælland. Okay, let's simulate this fourth season.
Before we go to there, though,
we won't simulate the fourth season just yet.
In 1992, who won the Euros?
It was Denmark.
It was Denmark, yeah.
And they didn't even qualify.
Yeah, and I think that was so good. And I think that's where a lot of the, especially Bromby players, came sort of well-known sort of home names, really.
Yeah.
And it was, I can remember being somewhere at the time and being told that the Denmark were given the chance to play in the Euros, and the players were all on holiday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some of them had phone calls. They were on the beach, actually on holiday, saying, we've been given the wild card, or someone dropped out for some reason. I can't remember what it was now. But someone had dropped out or been chucked out, and Denmark were allowed to play in the Euros, come back from your holidays and all that, and they were coming back from the beaches and the ones like that.
Oh, for God's sake, let's go win this then, shall we?
And to go through, I mean, they must have been, I would say, if your own team, your own country gets knocked out, they were your next favourite to win because of how, and it's just funny how things like that happen.
Yeah, what a story.
Yeah, definitely. And I actually pulled them in the sweepstake in work, and
really?
I thought, isn't it my bloody luck, you know? And everybody was laughing at me. Oh, you got the team who didn't even qualify, you know? And I'd go on and win it. And I'd, give me the money.
Yeah.
Brilliant. But I can remember watching that tournament and thinking,
because one of the Laudrups didn't play either, did they?
No, didn't.
And that was when they were in their prime.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one it was, whether it's Brian or Michael. I don't remember which one didn't turn up.
I remember we were talking about Johnny Johnson just now, and he was one of the players that scored in the final. I think they won 2-0.
Jensen, you mean?
Jensen, yeah. He actually scored in the final, and he was a Bromby player at the time.
Yeah.
And the other person who scored it, I'm not sure now, but I've got a feeling he was a Bromby player as well.
Yeah.
But they had a good Bromby sort of squad.
Yeah.
In there at the time, and the majority of their players were playing for Denmark at the time.
Yeah, and obviously they had big Peter Schmeichel, the Great Dane, in goal. Had he moved at that point, or was he still at Bromby? I don't really remember.
No, to say 100%, I'm not sure, but I got a feeling he was still at Bromby.
Yeah, but, and then he probably had been signed for United the season after.
I can remember him playing really well at that tournament.
Yeah,
and that might have been why
he ended up getting the move.
He got a move, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was great watching that team.
Yeah, to do that without one of, I think it was the better Laudrup brother as well, who didn't go.
Michael then.
Yeah, I think it was. So the fact that they weren't even favourites, even if they had him.
He probably didn't want to come home from the beach. He probably said, "Nah, you crack
on." We couldn't even qualify, lads. We ain't going to go through and win it, are we? What's the point? Right, okay, let's simulate this fourth season, see how we get on. Fourth season, and we've retained, and this time we won it by a little bit more than just a point. 5 points in total, so that's a lot better. Championship group, there we go. 75 points. Well, Copenhagen threw it away at the end there with another 4 draws.
Made it a bit more difficult, couldn't they?
And a loss against us, so that's where we went on and won it, I'd say. In the preliminary phase, we were second place, so we went into that trailing Copenhagen.
But we only lost one game there, look.
Yeah, and we went on and won it. So that was one game, a 6-2 loss against Midtjylland. Not bad at all. And then we go into the championship phase. I'm guessing we lost a couple more there. So we only lost 3 games all season. It's quite impressive, really. Very good stuff from us. Right, what about other competitions then? Come on. Oh, actually, look at that. 30 goals.
Young lad, hey, what a signing, eh?
What a signing that is. Only 21 years of age, and he's tearing the league up. He is fantastic. He is so good. I can't believe I've never even heard of him before. Right, competitions then. How have we done in other competitions? Let's see. Knocked down the league phase. And the quarterfinal, Copenhagen again.
I can't believe we haven't won that cup.
I know.
The team that we've got at the moment, you'd think we'd win the cup, wouldn't you?
We finished 34th, so we weren't close. We didn't even win a game. We drew to Genk, and we lost the other 7. We got battered by Celtic.
5-0 Man City.
Some bad results there.
4-0 Chelsea.
Yeah.
Are you going to get Newcastle? 1-0 against Newcastle. We've done well against Newcastle.
Yeah. So in Europe, we're just nowhere near the standard that we need to be, unfortunately. The cup, I can't believe we haven't won this yet. Midtjylland have won it the last 2 seasons. Copenhagen the season for that. Nordsjælland the season for that. So we're not even close. I haven't even got to a final yet. Goals-wise then, how many did he score this season? 35. So pretty much the same as Ohai, and Ohai's getting 16 as well. But this is a long-term project, whereas Ohai is now 32.
Yeah.
And he's lost trust in the manager. Well, there's the door. Yeah. Ohai. Obai is what I'm going to start calling him. 13 goals and 13 assists from Jorgensen.
Can you win the league and lose trust in the manager?
I know, right? Because he didn't win anything in Europe. Probably. Let's take a look
you
then.
Didn't score enough goals.
It's probably, yeah. £4 million in the transfer budget.
They just doubled our budget.
Is that because, yes, Anders Borset in February was bought from Chelsea, or bought to Chelsea from us. So they activated the release clause, £4.2 million there. That's unfortunate, isn't it? Or was that the guy who didn't have the release clause?
No, I think it was, wasn't it?
I can't remember. I can't remember if it was. If it wasn't, it means the boss has accepted it.
Yeah.
Because you can't accept or reject when you holiday a season, so they've just gone and accepted it anyway. But okay, fair enough. Right, okay then. We've got that money to spend next season. Let's see what we do with it in the final year. Okay, so we have spent a little bit of money, £5.75 million at the end here, but that was 1.25 of that was the season before, and 1.6 here. So across the summer where it breaks across 2 seasons, first player was this guy, Krygard. Centre defensive midfielder, 26 years of age, really good player, but we're weakening our opponents. That's what I like about this move. Yeah. Next up, probably the biggest sign that we have made, and it is Guindo, who is a centre-back / left-back that we picked up from Salzburg. So the Mali player that we have here, £3 million. He is rather good though. So physically and everything, he's perfect. Only 23. He can grow into a good player as well. He's still got a little bit of potential to go. I think that's a great signing for us. Finally, we've got a couple of signings here. One was a free transfer. Cognac, another midfielder, French midfielder. Not bad, not really going to start though. He's just more of a squad player. Yeah, absolutely. Look at all the positions he can play. And then this guy here, Josh Wilson Esbrand, £1.6 million. He is a very good left back. So it keeps giving us those options at fullback as well. A lot of pace and acceleration, using the English link that we have as a manager to attract a player from Manchester City.
He's come through the youth ranks there.
From West Ham, and went to Man City.
They normally come through. Good boys come from West Ham, I always say.
Absolutely. He's even played for some Premier League football, Daddy. He had 5 appearances there, 4 starts, and got himself an assist. Okay, so Josh joins us as well. That's all the signs that we have made. Tactically, then, we stick with what we have. Yes.
In the league last 2 seasons, why should we change?
Absolutely, and this is what I would like to see as our starting lineup. So we've got Guindo on Moragic and Brabic there as our back line. We've got our midfield there, Aranjo, who's done really well for us. Berg Jonsson, of course, who we signed in the first season. Ohai is still here, playing on that left-hand side. Jorgensen on the right, who he signed in that first or second season. And then our Reist guy up top, who's been scoring all of our goals. Let's take a look then. Schedule. Of course, automatic qualification again for the Champions League. No playoffs that we needed to go through. Again, we haven't lost, but we've drew 3 games and a couple of draws I'm not too pleased with. No. One being this one, and the AGF one in the first game of the season. First game of the season I always think is a little bit tricky because it's the first game. You need to get into the flow of it. But then when we win 6-3 in the next game, draw to Copenhagen away, which is always going to be tricky, you'd expect to then bounce back and pick up 3 points. That's unfortunate. A 2-0 win there though, 3-0 and a 4-1 win. So we are second currently in that league phase. If I remove that, we can see our Champions League matches. Only PSG, Milan, Man City, Porto, Lazio, Galatasaray again. It's easy.
Oh well.
All right, that's okay then. Final season then. Let's see what we can do. Final season, and we win the title again. 63 points. Not
That's 3
bad.
seasons in a row, isn't it? We won the league.
That is indeed. We went into preliminary phase as champions as well, 1 point ahead of Copenhagen. The championship group, we finished 3 points ahead of them, so we've actually done better than them in the championship group.
3 games in the whole season, so
yeah,
that's good,
which
really?
I think is the best that we've done, and only 2 in the championship group, like AGF and Copenhagen. So I think defensively we've done ever so well, and I think that formation is going to help. We've drawn 12 games in total, which is probably the reason why we're not dominating the league, but we have got probably the best striker in the league.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just the formation we're playing is very defensive. 31 goals this season, with 16 assists from Jorgensen as well, who got a very high average rating. So overall, I think we've done really well like that defensively. Was it defensive in other competitions though? Let's find out. No. Quarterfinal again in the cup.
Just can't get to that cup, can we?
And knocked out in the league phase.
You know, I expect that. I mean, we're down the bottom again.
32nd.
We're setting our team up.
We won again, Galatasaray.
We won
at Galatasaray as well.
We're setting our team up very defensively, like as you can see there.
Yeah.
You can't do no more than that because we're not good enough to attack these teams.
No,
we
they'll
just
batter us.
just get battered every time, won't we?
Yeah. I mean, Man City, we played that. They topped the group. We played quite a few of this. Milan, we played PSG and Porto. They were all in the top half, in the top 8. So there's not really much you can do about it when Real Madrid and Barcelona are finishing outside of it. So, and Bayern Munich, look, there's some big clubs who are not finishing there. I'm not even mentioning them.
Don't go around them. Say the ones that's in the middle of them
every
as well.
club on either side of them. Amazing. My club's in it though.
Yeah.
So, there we go. Moving on swiftly. Goals then, 36 goals this season. Ohai got 20, and then Sebastian Jorgensen got 15 and 18 assists.
Our biggest challenge is going to be keeping that player, you know.
What, the Rice guy? Yeah. I mean, he's 22. Nobody's wanting him yet. It's mental. Don't understand how.
That means the Patriots can have him for another season at
exactly.
least.
So the Patreon members, you might be all right having him. Ohai is leaving though, but he is 33. So that's what you're going to have to do
you're gonna get the second one
with that first season is bring in that left side midfielder. And you... Oh, come on. Every time they give them so much money, have we like accidentally lost a player? We haven't. They've just given them that much money every time. 8.69 million.
Times and you're in the Champions League, they're going to give you a bit more money.
Yeah. They know it's the 6th season. So Patreon members, you got £8.69 million. Dad, what is the challenge?
I would expect you to win the league again.
Yeah.
With the team that you've got a bit more money. So the challenge is going to be win the league and win the cup. Do the double.
Yeah.
The last time we done the double, I think, was in 2005.
Yeah.
When Michael Laudrup was manager.
Yep.
That was the last time we done the double, and you can see we've never got nowhere near the cup.
No.
So there's the challenge.
And we got to the final of the cup.
Try and do the double for us.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got quite a few nice little youth prospects because Bromby's youth academy is quite good. They're all starting to get good now. 18, 20 years of age. Like, they are all quite good. So have a look at there. There's some players that you can definitely promote. Like this guy could probably start now on that left-hand side, given game time, and he'll be good for you.
Yeah.
So take a look in that youth academy for all those players coming through. And of course, Bromby season ticket holders or people who have gone to the ground, what's the food like? I'll probably ask my friend Thomas.
I was going to say, I'm surprised you didn't actually know that.
Yeah, I should have asked him, really. What's the food like? What is everything like at the stadium? What's the atmosphere like in Denmark? I'm curious. Let us know down in the comments section, and thank you very much for watching.
One more thing before we go. This video will be going out the week before Christmas, so Merry Christmas to you all.
Merry Christmas, and if you're watching it after, ignore what Dad just said. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a fantastic Christmas and New Year, and we'll see you next Monday, which is Boxing Day.
Yeah, that's our favourite day of the year.
It's our favourite day of the year. Forgive me if I'm not in the Premier at that point, but I might be drunk watching the football with Dad. So thank you very much. Have a happy time, and we'll see you next week for another one. Bye bye.